Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 14, Chapter 2, Future Plans, Part 2. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the Tensura Light Novel. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Bonnie, born in the United States of America 45 years ago, was just an ordinary student who loved freedom. However, somehow karma came into the world and his talent was discovered by Rudra. He was then taken in by Damrata and taught the methods of fighting. I don't know when I started to get confident and felt that I was the number one strongman in this world and became arrogant. The one who shattered Bonnie's confidence was the woman who served at the side of Emperor Rudra. No, it was the draped, gaudy-looking, scary monster. Its name, Velgrund, absolutely non-disclosable, one of the Empire's confidential matters. One day, Bonnie, led by Damrata, went to the Emperor's residence. It was a very honorable thing to do, and at the same time fueled Bonnie's ambitions. It was there that Bonnie met Velgrund for the first time. Then felt her horror and couldn't help giving in. And at this point, Emperor Rudra, who was behind the Imperial curtain, said to Bonnie, "You have this qualification, the qualification as a vessel. Let me lend you my strength, and be more diligent in the future." Emperor Rudra's icy, ruthless voice, as if it had come from a distant place, had become impossible to resist the Emperor when he awoke again. "Your Majesty, even if all the millions of elites are wiped out, you won't care. Let's just say that total annihilation is the plan. So that's it. As long as an awakened person like me can appear, it doesn't matter if you sacrifice millions of soldiers?" "Yeah, so you've awakened too. Then I think you understand. You're right. The Emperor's purpose is to collect the pieces of the awakening. For that purpose, even if it caused millions of sacrifices, he thought it was worth it. That's a fact that even senior officers don't know. That is, more about quality than quantity? So, then, the failed crusade against Veldora 300 years ago was too? I don't know what happened then. But doesn't it make sense just to think about it? If it were me, one person could kill you all. No, it turns out it could be done. The gap in strength is just so obvious. So that's why we say our defeat was planned, is that it? A strategy premised on sacrifice? As much as I want to praise His Majesty, this time it's really been a total loss. That's how it is. To lose so badly after awakening, even His Majesty didn't expect it. Alas, it's my fault for not being useful. Don't worry. It's not that you're not useful, it's just that the opponent is too strong. Right. That's simply not something we can beat. The duo also lost to Diablo, who knocked out Calgurio. There wasn't even a monster they could beat, so in their opinion, it was not surprising that Calgurio couldn't win. That is to say, the strength of the battle here exceeds the intelligence agency's expectations? It should be. Plans to use this place's demon lord, Rimuru, as a stepping stone to add pawns were thwarted by misjudging the opponent's battle strength. So, Bonnie-kun, since the plan to use us as bait and have you carry out the surprise attack has also failed, what are your plans for the future? Huh? I told you so. I'll take the responsibility. What do you mean by that? One thing I have to make clear, as I said earlier, is that you are dead. This is not a metaphor, but as far as His Majesty the Emperor is concerned, you are dead. Are you suggesting that keeping us alive is more troublesome for His Majesty? It's a bit of a language problem. My point is that His Majesty does not need the kind of general whose power is taken away, causing the possibility of awakening to be reduced to zero. To be of no value to His Majesty means that there is no reason to continue protecting you. Well, that's what it's all about. Considering this premise, the possibility of not accepting the return of prisoners is high. No, it's more than that. If the surviving soldiers return home, anti-war sentiment will spread, and do you think this is in line with His Majesty's thoughts? I don't think so. That is to say, what is optional for His Majesty is in the way for the intelligence service. Right. Will he wipe out those who intend to return? For sure. That's 700,000? How could it be done? Those who have undergone transformative surgery have not lost their strength to that point. But if you fight back, it's a fight against yourself. Do you have an idea of who can make this happen? Thinking of his own awakening, Calgurio remained silent. He believes that if one does have that kind of power, it is not impossible to do it. If it's in single digits, can you do it? I don't think anyone can do that, from a common sense point of view, can they? But yeah, there really is. In the Empire, there are monsters that can turn this assumption into reality. That figure surfaced in front of Bonnie's eyes, his body trembling with fear. The beauty and horror of that can only be experienced by those who have seen it with their own eyes. And Bonnie, who knew this well, felt a little unfortunate. Is it a single-digit existence that you're also afraid of? It looks like I've got something wrong. Me too. I joined the army and dreamed of letting the Empire dominate the world. But that's silly. I feel silly as a clown. Calgurio and Minute looked at each other sobbingly. It wasn't just the Calgurio, the officers present, all sighed as if they had awakened from a dream. Now you understand. Do you understand the situation? Even if you go back, all that awaits you is despair. So just stay here and be a prisoner and wait for the war to be over. What are you going to do about it, Sir Bonnie? I'm going back to the Empire. There shouldn't be a truce like that. I think His Majesty Rimuru would want to deal with the Empire. By then, a guide must be needed, right? Then, everyone was deeply aware that their fate had been entrusted to the Demon Lord Rimuru. After expressing my gratitude to Veldora and Ramirez, I headed to the 70th level of the labyrinth. Adelman is currently in a dormant phase because of yesterday's ritual. The harvest festival had begun, but Adelman's castle was still in a state of destruction. More problematic were the Imperial captives, who had previously been looked after by Adelman, and it wasn't good to leave them hanging so long now. Besides, they should have calmed down by now, and I'd like to ask for information about the Empire. I'll go check them out while I can. Accompanying me were my 2 secretaries. With these 2, I can be rest assured even if anything happens. You don't have to go. Rimuru-sama himself. Well, why don't you go for me? That's right, you've got to get some information. Kufufufufu, we might as well go together. Well, there's no way that I'm going to let Xian go alone. I thought as I was held to the chest by Xian. But then again, these 2 are still so energetic after just having an evolutionary ceremony yesterday. After a night in the Xian, nothing has changed. And Diablo, perfectly back to his usual self. So, have you gained new abilities? Kufufufufu. Thanks to Rimuru-sama, I managed to gain the ultimate skill. Finally, I don't have to put up with guys' show-offs. If you're so reluctant, you should get it yourself. I think Diablo would be able to obtain the ultimate skill himself without my help, right? No, you can't say that. Wouldn't it be lame to get it the way Guy said, as if I were to learn from him? Diablo is really small-minded. Is that how you say, without shame? Since being taught in this way by Lord Rimuru, I have often gone to ask others for advice. His Excellency Gobuchi also taught me the essence of cooking, and now they all agree that my craft has been handed down. So that's why, not long ago, Lord Gobuchi was hospitalized because his body would definitely collapse if he had to try the cuisine of Xian every time. Then it would be bad to blame Gobuchi. In this case, Diablo had already fallen on his face, and Shuna would never taste it. I knew it, I had to get Benimaru. Well, Xian's education was supposed to be Benimaru's responsibility, it would be good to stress it to him again. That's not going to be a problem for the newlyweds. Please, don't get me wrong. Because the topic of Xian's relationship was a bit off topic, but in the midst of small talk we had reached our destination. After the transfer to the hills of the 70th class, everyone who saw me appear immediately saluted. I don't think it's right to do such a thing to an enemy demon lord, but Diablo and Xian seem quite content, so I'd better not interject. His Majesty Rimuru is here. Immediately, inform Sir Calgurio. It seemed that Calgurio and the rest were having a military meeting in that tent, and Rimuru and the others were led into the tent while listening to the instructions. Inside the tent, they all stood straight and saluted me and greeted me. I'm a little surprised that even they are reacting this way. I'm the king of an enemy country, and I'm still a slime. Of course, in order to show majesty on such occasions, to take on human form. Xian and Diablo stood behind me, respectively. So, guys, just in time, the top brass have gathered. Yes. All of you relax. I'm here today to talk to you guys. I said this with a smile to everyone. It's better for the meeting to be relaxed and gentle. Adelman's been up to something lately and may not be here for a while. So, I was wondering if there was anything you guys would like to mention. I dare not. You've treated us well enough, don't bother anymore. That's good. And then, what about the way forward? Yes. And on that note, we have a request. We would like to live in this country for the time being, and see if you can accommodate us. Wait, I listened to the content in detail. According to Calgurio, it just so happens that right now, they are also discussing the way forward. And then came to the conclusion that even back in the Empire, they would only be killed all over. No, you're going too far. There is no country that kills soldiers who fight for their country just because they are defeated. However, I think there's no doubt it will turn out that way. Who did you think it was? It was Bonnie. I can't believe it's the same person who attacked us, he said calmly and clearly. It's true. No, wait, if that's true, the earlier statement about suspending military aggression for fear of Veldora's seal being lifted now sounds suspicious, too. Maybe that's my mistake too, and he is actually waiting for the storm dragon to come back? What Emperor Rudra was thinking is also hard for me to understand. But, in my humble opinion, His Majesty Rimuru is probably right. Emperor Rudra's true purpose was not simply to win the war. Instead, the Empire's soldiers were to face off against a strong opponent, so that they could select a strong man who could awaken. It's a big move, beyond the realm of normal human thought. Answer. Very interesting idea. It's not funny to think of people as experimental material. No such instances have been found. But, your food is not free either. It's an extra 700,000 people's rations, and they'll have to be bought from other countries. Hearing that they would be killed back home, it was a bit of a hesitation to let them go. But it is also true that our country has no reason to shelter them. There's no way around it, it's better to take them in. But it's not free. In our country, he who does not work does not gain, you can earn your own rations. Is that okay? That's for sure. At your service. We haven't even said what they're going to do, but they're all looking very energetic. That being the case, I gave them permission to stay here. By the way, are you good at civil engineering? Of course. I can confidently say that the Empire's skill level is the highest. Great. In that case, let me show you first. Well, first job. See this destroyed city now, and restore it in its entirety. The materials will be prepared by me, but they'll be in your hands from the design stage. You can do it, right? Since it was broken by them, it is natural for them to fix it. As you wish. Calgurio nodded confidently, and the men who had received the instructions left quickly. That quick and unified feeling is just the kind of man who does his job, and it's estimated that the rebuilding will be over shortly after. And just like that, the Imperial army was appointed to the job.